alive.
We're alive. And we are at Jaffa Gate in the Old City.
You're wrong.
And I thought, you know what? Even though this is not where I thought that I would sit and do the live, I thought we should start now because it's still pretty amazing to be in the Old City in Jerusalem to see the Christmas decorations that are still up over here. And we are by Jaffa Gate. You see, well, there's a cab in the way, of course. Here, let me back up. You can see Jaffa Gate a little bit. And if you're watching, I might turn this into a podcast and then you have no idea what I'm talking about. But anyway, I liked it because you can't see it. But if you can picture Jaffa Gate as the sun is setting and as right now, it's just this crazy, typical crazy time in Jerusalem where it's the Saturday sunset. So Shabbat is coming to an end and you have like right now a lot of religious Jews streaming to the Western Wall for the end of Shabbat prayers. And of course, you've got everybody else, tourists, locals, everybody walking through. There's an ambulance right here as well. Don't know why. And Caroline, you want to be on one of my videos?
Yeah, but
No, but you're on it anyway. So next time you watch, because Caroline watches my videos and, you know, it makes me feel like at least somebody's watching. Now you're on one.
okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So what do you think? Is Iran going to attack or not? This is the question.
I wish not.
You wish not,
I wish not.
but do you have a feeling?
Well, it's a politician.
It's all up to the politicians. Yeah.
They decide our destiny, our life.
Yes. Yes. So it's the $1 million question right now. And it's so funny because though if you in America, most of you are dealing with whether or not you're going to have a snowstorm in the next couple days, you're also actually you guys are the ones telling me that there's about to be an attack here. And the funny thing is that's it's less of an issue here than it is there. As you can see, since everybody is out and about, like everything is normal. Here, check out some remaining Christmas lights while you can. All right, so everybody here is acting like business as usual, except for the news. The news outlets are running wild with the speculation that there could be an attack this weekend. And by the way, the weekend for us is about to be over. So I don't know when they say the weekend, if they mean the Western weekend, which is Saturday, Sunday, or the Middle Eastern weekend, which is Friday, Saturday, because it is now the end of Saturday. We have not been attacked. Iran has not been attacked. It looks like the chances of an attack are somehow waning, I think. So, anyway, here, Tony, can you take this? Thanks. All right. So, let's talk about Iran itself because that is the crux of the issue. You know, now suddenly not Gaza. Nobody's talking about Syria, unfortunately. By the way, I got to post for you guys an article about Turkey, but it's vis-a-vis Syria. And it has to do with, you know, why the attacks on the Kurds that have been occurring over the past 2 weeks, why, no, month, no, two plus weeks, why that is so critical right now. Because the Kurds are in northeastern Syria, and they are basically sitting on oil fields. And these oil fields, this is all about oil yet again, in a way. Just that, you know, since Turkey is the main international player aside from Syria itself, in Syria, Turkey is the main player here. They, one of the analysts that I interviewed, he said, "What does Turkey give to Trump, to America? Access into Syria for the first time." So, excuse me, as we walk by Tuma Coffee House here, great place to come if you're in the old city. Great coffee and great baked goods, amazing. Everything homemade here, including the what do you call it? Including the mugs. It's amazing. It's really cool. So anyway, the ceramics. I mean, the pottery. Oh, and here's Vix. We got to stop and see. This is we're in the Armenian Quarter. This is Vix Art Studio. Some of the most amazing artistic Armenian art. Just the classic, but also the very original Jerusalem scenes. I mean, it's just beautiful, just absolutely amazing. He has a lot of black and whites, really amazing stuff. I totally interrupted myself. We were talking about the Kurds in Syria and Turkey. So, Turkey, main international player in Syria, aside from Syria, right? So what was happening with the Kurds over the last few weeks? You know, the Americans have like some sort of alliance with the Kurds, but nothing was said. Kurds were being attacked. Well, Kurds were also attacking. I can't tell you exactly what happened. I mean, that's like that. This is like I'd have to do like a course in Syria now. So please look yourself. But there was a lot of fighting between the Kurds and the Syrian army. Now, the Syrian army, sorry, Syrian forces, I meant plural. Syrian forces are comprised of the, you know, the rebel groups, formerly ISIS. Um, and so they got up to certain parts in the Kurdish areas and they opened up prisons there that where there were ISIS prisoners that were locked up and they were released. So there's like now like a thousand or thousands. Here's one more Armenian pottery to show you. Sandruni, Garo Sandruni. Also very unique stuff. He has his own unique line. So anyway, oh, there he is sitting there. Okay, so they oh wow, it's really busy here. Okay, so they in the old city. Da, 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 da. Hopefully I can reconnect. Day now, reconnecting. All right, I'm back. Okay, so and another sun Bruni right here. And the most important part of the live right now, you're on. You're gonna tell us, you're gonna tell us, attack or no attack. This is all for you.
Depends on what. I know depends on what.
Exactly. Are we tired of guessing though?
They don't know.
Maybe tonight. After
Oh,
Mutsash, yes.
maybe
After Shabbat.
after
Not too bad.
end of Shabbat.
Santa is coming.
But wait,
Some miss it.
Santa is coming, he says. Okay, this is Mesworld. If you've walked through the Armenian Quarter, you've
Not
been
married,
here.
by the way.
What?
I'm not married. I'm looking for one.
Oh my God, I'm not even advertising that. Okay. So tell me something. Who's attacking first? America's attacking Iran or Iran's attacking Israel?
I think United States gonna attack Turkey tonight.
Turkey?
Yes, yes, they're gonna surprise everybody.
All right, Danny, I'll be back.
As I was saying about Turkey right now. Okay, and by the way, I was telling you about the different things going on. So no, these are a bunch of Armenian seminary students. So you have got like the gamut from right now religious Jews walking by during Shabbat, like at the end of Shabbat, locals, Armenian seminary students, just you know everybody all at once. Okay, so I know I was in Syria and in Kurdish territory, there were prisons full of ISIS prisoners, and they were all, many of them were released, thousands apparently of now former ISIS prisoners released all around Turkey. And, you know, so this has the potential to be a disaster. Just think for yourself what could possibly be the repercussions of thousands of former ISIS prisoners released from their cells. I think they've been in there for 10 years. Crazy. Okay, so that's one thing. But the Kurds in the Kurdish territory, like is it Deir Zor in the northeast? They had oil fields, and those oil fields are now in Syrian hands, in the Syrian forces. And who is, of course, let's do the BFF train of Syria. Syria has, of course, Turkey as a very strong supporter. And now America, President Trump, who invited Mohammed al Julani, Ahmed al Shara, his name is, to the White House. And nobody said anything, and not a soul condemned what was happening there, at least not from an official American viewpoint. Nobody condemned what was happening in Syria, the fighting between the the actual now Syrian armies, once rebels, um, now they're the actual army versus the Kurds. So, anyway, that's Syria. Let's go back to Iran. What is happening there? Basically, from what I can gather, as the internet is still out and it's been since January 8th, today is January 24th, the internet has been shut down. But some videos are trickling out and they're horrible. They are horrible, bodies upon bodies. I mean, we're saying now the reports are looking more likely that 20,000 were killed. And I just saw a report, not yet, I believe it, but that it could be up to 80,000 people killed, protesters killed. Rita, I got to say hi and give this one a hug. Excuse me. How are you?
Hello.
Yeah. How?
Hello.
Hi, Kefik. Okay. Bye. Um, Gotta love being here in the Armenian Quarter. So small. Got it. Everybody eventually, and lots of people. Oh, they're great. I love her. Anyway, so okay, so Iran martial law. Basically, people aren't leaving their houses. They're finding out that upwards of between like 20,000 now is looking like the low estimate of protesters killed. I just read also, again, I cannot confirm it, that that protesters are being not even jailed, not even officially jailed and registered as being arrested, but that they are being put in cages and then summarily executed. So it's not even like there is now a record of this going on. It is just happening. Now, if that's true, you can see how the number goes higher than 20,000. And like I said, some estimates, 80,000. That is insane. So, so we still don't have much information. We know that people are I saw some videos of really harsh abuse of protesters, like when they're caught. Like, I saw one woman getting dragged by her hair. Her captor had a machete. I don't know what ended up happening to her. It was just, the surveillance footage of what you could see. Also, some videos have come out, and again, these are probably backdated like a week or two ago, where the Basij forces are going through like in pickup trucks, and they've got like automatic weapons, automatic rifles mounted on the pickup truck, and they're just shooting at crowds. So there's just now so much coming out. And again, we talk about this attack, and the attack was originally maybe for like some of us who were thinking, oh, wow, America really wants to go in and help the protesters and try to stop the executions. And then there was a quote by President Trump, wow, they had 800 executions scheduled and they didn't do them. So, great job, Iran. You didn't do those 800 executions. But as I was saying, it seems to be that they are just anyway getting killed and maybe not officially executed. So what do you call that then? If they're not official executions. So anyway, um, so that is the story. Now, as for probably you guys are wondering, like, what is the situation here? Because you may have heard that America has moved a lot of much military equipment, forces, planes, carriers, etc., to the Middle East. And that's been going on. I guess it takes a while to get over here. And so that's been going on for a couple days now. And the buildup is very dramatic. You know, if I can be honest, it's a very dramatic buildup. Now, it doesn't mean that yes, there's going to be an attack, or no. It could still be part of the game. It could still be part of the deterrence, perhaps. I don't know at this point what we are deterring, because the regime in Iran can obviously just go through and do what it wants to its people because nobody's inside. I think, if, you know, like as many people had said in the beginning, that America and Israel were in Iran and that they were there to instigate regime change. Well, it hasn't really worked up until now. So then, if you know, is that actually the case? Are there actually agents there? Are they doing anything about it? Because it doesn't appear to be that way. But then again, we are getting very limited information. And so if America goes in now, then what is its intent? Is the intent by the Americans to then actually carry out regime change? Is it an attempt to stop the slaughter of protesters? You know, I think, how do you actually stop the slaughter of protesters at this point? The only answer is regime change. So the question is whether America will or will not bite the bullet and do that, because regime change is costly. Although they just did Venezuela, did they not? So it's obviously located geographically to do it here, because, and in this side of the world, because first of all, Iran is a much bigger country. I didn't look at the map, but I can assume it's a much bigger country than Venezuela. I don't know the population of Venezuela, but in Iran, it's 90 plus million. It's also I don't. Interesting. Iran and Venezuela were their allies. So, you know, you can see like cooperation with weapons and things like that. Also, narco terrorism. There was a lot of narcotics that funded terrorism that was also going on. This is another article I recently wrote that I should post here. If I remember, remind me. Because that's interesting anyway to see like the connection. But the question is, what, well, like, we are like, it's very, if you listen to the news a lot over here, you would be panicking. If you don't, and if you're like me right now, standing out here with people walking by over here and people walking by over there and everything normal, then you would not be panicking. So I don't want to panic. I don't think anybody should panic, but the question is, to what level should we be concerned? And I have to tell you that like, you guys who are contacting me from overseas are more concerned and more on alert than we are. And I don't know if that's part of the media drama and spin that's been created, or if you have better intel than we do. I don't know. But then again, the Israeli media is definitely taking it to a level of drama. And, you know, everybody's been saying this weekend, this weekend. But like I said, for as far as we're concerned, the weekend is about to be over in, well, a few hours from now. So, and nothing's happened. So anyway, so that's where we're at. Um, so Walter's saying it does sound like something big is on the horizon. And I have to say, if you're in America, something big is on the horizon. Apparently, you're going to get a really bad snowstorm and everybody's going to go crazy about that. So here's another question for you. Here's another question. I'd love to hear what you guys think. If you have a big snowstorm in America, tell me, are you going to hear anything about what happens here in the Middle East? Are you going to hear? Are you just only going to hear about the number of inches that fell in your area and the damage that it caused? Because I'm pretty sure you're only going to hear about the snow, and you're not going to hear about any attack that happens over here. Now, as I talk, there are war jets flying over me, military jets, which, trust me, this is not a flight pattern. Jerusalem, I know what a flight pattern is. I live in the grew up, born and raised in the JFK flight zone, and Jerusalem does not have that. So when you hear aircraft, you're like, your ears prick up, like, what's that? So, okay, so there you go. They're on their way. Who knows? Lebanon, Gaza, or Iran, who knows? But anyway, I have to say here, we don't know. I don't know. Constantly asked, is Iran going to attack? Is there going to be an attack? I have no idea. I've given up trying to know, and I'm going to sleep really well tonight. until or if an alarm goes off. So anyway, that's that. Um, Let me give you a glimpse here of Christmas in Jerusalem, which is really coming to an end. You can see here at the entrance to the St. James Convent, they still have a little vestige of Christmas. You got some nice lights up here. And because Armenian Christmas in Jerusalem is on January 19th, and only in Jerusalem. The Armenians in Armenia don't celebrate on this day, only in Jerusalem. But here you go. Here's a little tree. There's a big one in there, but we'll lose internet if I run through. Um, but hi, how are you? Good. So there you go. Christmas and Santa packing in B-52 for all we know. Nobody knows. We don't know. Let's end on some really good music. What do you think? That's Luciano. Is that Luciano Pavarotti?
Yeah.
Yes. All right, Daniel, you want to say goodbye? All right. Bye, everyone. We'll let you know if there's an